The halfway of the year is not a small thing. I think the middle of anything is actually one of the most important places to pause because it is where most people either recommit to who they said they wanted to become or quietly let it go without ever really deciding to. And today, I want to make sure that you are in the first group. Before we move into the second half of the year, let's take some time to reflect because we in midlife are in the season of making this second half count. And that starts with looking honestly at the goals that you set at the beginning of the year and asking yourself some real questions, not from a place of judgment or shame, but from a place of curiosity. Because here's what I know about women in midlife. We are not just goal setters. We are meaning seekers. We don't just want to check boxes. We want to feel excited in the pursuit. We want to know that what we are building matters, that the life that we are living is actually the one we choose, not the one that we default to. So today, we are going to talk about how to reset and revise your goals for the second half of this year. And more importantly, how to build the kind of belief that actually makes them happen. I'm going to share some brain research that is going to reframe the way that you think about this completely. And I'm going to give you some practical tools that you can use right now. If you're new here, I'm Ileana. I'm a midlife coach, and I'm here to help you reset your mindset, reclaim your sense of self, and step into the second half of this year and this life with clarity, confidence, and a deep knowing that what you want is still much possible for you. Here's why. This halfway point actually matters. The halfway point of the year is not a report card. Is a recalibration time. It is not a moment to measure how far behind you are. It is a moment to get honest about what still matters, what needs to be revised, and what you are ready to pursue with a whole new level of intention. Because here's the truth, the goals that you set in January were set by a version of you who had not yet lived the first 6 months of this year, nor experienced what you have experienced or learned what you have learned this past 6 months. You have not yet grown in the ways that you have grown. So it is wise to revisit these goals. It is exactly what a woman who is serious about her life does at the halfway mark. So I want to give you 3 questions to sit with. And I encourage you to actually write these down in your journal. Which of my goals still light me up when I think about them? Which ones feel like they belong to someone else's idea of who I should be? And which ones did I quietly abandon? Not because they were wrong, but because I stopped believing I could actually have them. This last question, that is one that I want to spend the most of time on today because I believe that for so many women in midlife, the goals do not disappear because life got busy. They disappear because the belief in the goal started to fade. My hope is that after today, we start to change that belief. Science shows us that belief is not just a feeling, it is not just a nice thing to have. It is actually a self fulfilling biological process. Your belief in your own ability to achieve something shows that it directly predicts whether or not you will take the actions required to get there. In other words, your belief level is not the reward you get after you succeed. It is the fuel that drives you there in the first place. And here's where it gets really fascinating. Your brain has something called confirmation bias. It is constantly scanning your environment, filtering what you notice, what you pay attention to, what opportunities you see, all based on what you already believe. If you believe something is possible for you, your brain starts finding evidence that it is. It starts noticing opportunities. It starts activating planning and decision making parts of your brain that actually move you towards the goal. But if you do not believe, if somewhere deep down you have a quiet voice that says that it is not really for someone like me, or it is probably too late, or I have tried it before and it did not work, your brain is going to filter your reality to confirm that as well. And you will not even realize that it's happening. This may sound discouraging, but this is actually incredibly empowering because it means that shifting your belief is not just a nice motivational exercise. It is the most practical, strategic thing that you can do to change your outcome. It is literally rewiring the filter through which your brain sees what is possible for you. And in midlife, when we have accumulated decades of stories about who we are and what we are capable of, this work is both the most important and the most transformative thing that we can do. Here's an important thing. Underneath the disbelief is worthiness. Let me ask you, do you actually believe you are worthy of the goal that you are pursuing? Not just capable of it, worthy of it, deserving of it. Do you genuinely believe that the life that you want, the health, the business, the freedom, the purpose, the joy, is something that you are allowed to have? Because research shows that most of us think worthiness is something we earn after we achieve the goal. Like, once I reach the milestone, once I lose the weight, once the business takes off, once I prove myself, then I will feel worthy of it. But the brain does not work that way. It actually works in reverse. Your brain will unconsciously block you from receiving or achieving things you do not feel worthy of it. It will create self sabotage, missed opportunities, inconsistent follow through, all to keep your reality consistent with how worthy you believe yourself to be. Here's the thing, your worthiness is not something you earn, it is something you already have. It was given to you, not by your achievements, not by how perfectly you have lived, not by what you have accomplished or how others see you. It was given to you by the God who created you, who placed specific dreams and gifts and desires inside of you on purpose. Those longings you feel, they are not accidents. They are invitations. Now, let's think about our goals. And let me tell you, not every goal that you set in January deserves to be carried forward. Some do, absolutely. But some need to be revised and some need to be released. Not because you failed, but because you have grown beyond them and you don't feel energetically aligned to them. So here's the question I want you to ask about every goal on your list. Is this truly what my soul wants? Or is it what I thought I should want? Is it aligned with what I value most deeply? Or is it a goal I inherited from someone else's idea of what success should look like for me? Because here's what I have seen in my own life and in the woman that I coach. When a goal is genuinely aligned with who you are and what you value most deeply, it does not feel like dragging yourself uphill every single day. It feels like finally doing the thing that you were made for. And everything, your energy, your focus, your faith, your follow through shifts to support it. So, as you sit down to revise your goals for the second half of the year, ask yourself how you want to feel. What kind of woman do you want to be becoming as you pursue it? What does this goal mean for the people that you love, the life that you are building, the legacy that you are leaving? What does it say yes to, and what does it require you to finally say no to? So, let me give you something that you can actually use right now. 3 transformative tools to help you reset, revise, and move forward with real belief going into the second half of the year. The first is what I call the worthiness reset. Sit down with no distractions and make a list of everything that you have overcome, accomplished, survived, or built in your life. Every time you did something hard. Every time you did not know how, but you figured it out anyways. Every door that closed and forced you towards one that was better. Every season you were certain would break you, that ultimately built you instead. This is not a feel good exercise. This is neuroscience. Your brain will not simply take your word for it when you say, I can do this. It needs evidence. And the research on self efficacy, pioneered by psychologist Albert Bandura at Stanford, shows that our belief in our own capability is most powerfully built not by affirmations, but by mastery experiences. Proof that we have already done the hard things. When you show your brain the receipt, you change what it believes it's possible next. And I promise you, you have more receipts than you realize. Far more, especially in our midlife years. That is the worthiness reset. You are not building confidence from nothing. You are remembering it. The second tool is what I call a daily alignment check. Each morning, before the noise of the day begins, take 5 minutes and ask yourself one question. What is one action I can take today that is consistent with the woman that I am becoming and the goal that I'm building toward? Just one, not a list, not a full plan, one aligned action, and then do it. Here's why this is so powerful. Every time your actions match your intention, you are sending your brain a signal. I am someone who follows through. Scientists call this building self efficacy through behavioral consistency. But you can simply call it self trust. And self trust, not motivation, not willpower, not the perfect morning routine, is the actual foundation of unshakable belief. Motivation will come and go. Self trust compounds. And the third tool is releasing the how and trusting the timing. This one sits at the intersection of brain science and faith. And I believe it may be the most freeing thing I can offer you today. Research on cognitive flexibility shows that when we grip to a specific outcome too tightly, when we obsess over exactly how it has to happen and precisely when, we actually narrow our thinking. The brain enters a threat state, and in that state, it becomes far less able to see the unexpected path, the sideway opportunities, the pivots that might be leading us somewhere even better than we originally planned. So do your part. Set the intention, take the aligned action, and then release the grip on the how and the when. Trust that God sees the full picture when you can only see the next step. Trust that the detour might actually be the path. Trust that you do not need to have it all figured out to move forward. You just have to keep moving. Friend, here's the main thing from today. The halfway point of the year is not a moment to judge yourself. It is a moment to choose yourself, to look honestly at where you are, revise what needs revising, release what needs releasing, and recommit with your whole heart to the life that you actually want. Your goals are not too big. Your dreams are not too late, and you are not too far into this year to make the second half count more than the first. But it starts with belief, belief that you are capable, belief that your goals are possible, and belief, God given belief that you are worthy of every single thing that you are building towards. So this week, here are your action steps. Sit down with your journal and do three things. First, revisit your goals and ask which ones still light you up. Second, write your worthiness reset, all the evidence that you deserve the life that you are creating. And third, choose one aligned action to take today. Because the second half of the year and the second half of your life does not begin on some future date when everything is perfectly lined up. It begins the moment that you decide and believe again. I hope this encouraged you as much as it encouraged me to create it. If it did, please share it with a woman in your life who needs this reminder right now. And if you are ready to go deeper, to do the work with the guidance, the community, the real tools, everything you need is in the description below. And remember, friend, you are not too old, it is not too late, and you are not behind. You are right on time for the life that you are creating because you are so worthy of it. I will see you in the next video. Take good care of yourself. Bye.